Resume recording. So it's the Friday after the elections. Lots of excitement with everything going on. So we'll just come in for centering. I have a couple quotes here that I thought were really appropriate. I don't know if you realize this about yoga, but it's actually a system towards God realization. And there's a quotation by Amma on here, who's a very famous spiritual leader woman. She's been to the United States. I believe I saw her out at Unity Church a few years ago. But she says, God realization is nothing but the ability, the expansiveness of heart to love everything equally. So love is love. When you come from a heart space of love constantly, then you do love everything. And then Kabir, who is also a very famous author, spiritual person, and he says, you have slept for millions and millions of years. Why not wake up this morning? So the two kind of go hand in hand. God realization is expansiveness, awareness, ability to love, because that is our nature, that is our essential nature. And when Kabir talks of this waking up, that's what he's referring to, waking up to our essential nature. So that's the foundation of yoga. And it's a system that is designed to take a person in that direction if they follow the teachings. So in our country, sometimes these issues are lost sight of and people just think it's an exercise, but it really is much more than that. It's whatever you want it to be, really. But I just like the idea of focusing towards God realization. So we'll just let go of the week. It's been dramatic and chaotic, but we can remain peaceful and filled with knowing that the divine has a plan, and that plan comes down into consciousness of humanity. So at some level, we know the plan. It may not be at a conscious level, but that's okay. So just let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Feel them right now and just notice how they feel. Sitting tall, become aware of your breathing, your pace and pattern. Does it feel easy or difficult this morning? If it's difficult, it might be something going on holding in the solar plexus. So everything's connected. And then notice your nervous system, your emotions. See what's going on with you at different levels. We are multidimensional beings, and we are creator beings. And then, of course, check in with your body and see what's going on, what sensations you feel. If you have tightness or pain anywhere, just make some micro movements to check in. And just as a part of our centering, since it's been such a dramatic week, let's do a few rounds of Nadi Shodhana, our alternate nostril breathing. So just take your right hand, kind of cup your hand, bring in your index finger and your second finger, and then bring your right thumb to your right nostril. Breathe in through the left nostril to a count of 4. A deep breath. And then switch, bringing your ring finger and pinky finger on the left nostril. Exhale through the right to a count of 8. And then breathe in through the right nostril to a count of 4. Deep breath. And switch. Close off the right nostril. Exhale to a count of 8 through the left nostril. And we'll continue for 4 more rounds. Breathe in through left, count of 4. Switch, exhale, count 8. Inhale through the right, count 4. Exhale left, count 8. And 3 more rounds at your own pace. All right. So when you want to deeply relax, Nadi Shodhana is an amazing way to completely let go. if you if you work with it, taking more time with it rather than counting the number of repetitions, if you perhaps put a clock next to you and go for a half an hour or 15 minutes and see how you feel after that long of duration of Nadi Shodhana. And it has an amazing impact on the mind to relax you. It's cleansing to the body. So I highly recommend working with it. And if the count 4-8 ratio doesn't work for you, you can do 3 and 6 if it's too long an exhale. But it makes the exhale double the length of the inhale because the exhale is the relaxation part of the breath. And we want to extend that so that it's conducive to deeper relaxation. It's a great way of meditating as well. So let's just bring our arms up overhead. Just stretch like you're getting up out of bed and reach. Squeeze fingers, circle around in your wrists, both directions. Flex your palms and just reach up through the heel of your hand, taking a nice deep breath. Exhale, open your arms out to the side with your wrists flexed. When you get to T position, just turn your wrist down and lower down, stretch through the wrist. And then just repeat, just breathe up, this time through your fingertips. Lift one arm and then the other. Pull away from your hip. And let's just kind of sway with our arms side to side. And then come over to your left and bring your left hand down onto the floor. Slide it away and reach through the fingertips on your right arm. Pull away. Just inhale and lift up a little bit to release the stretch and reach once again. Breathe. Exhale and lower down. Shoulders and hips pointing forward. And then look up under your arm. And then lower your arm. Just come forward over your thigh, your knee. Lower down. Try to keep your hips on the floor. Bring in a little twist and come down over your leg. And then just lift up arm's length. Hold on with your right hand to your left knee and scoop your left arm out. Inhale, up and back. Come up to center, reaching to the ceiling or the sky. Let your head come to center, chin parallel to the floor. Reach up through your fingertips and exhale, bringing your arm down behind you for your twist. Look over your left shoulder. Use your arms rather than your back. Feel your ribs expand with your deep breath. And then press down in your hips and legs. Breathe your left arm back up. You're still in your twist. You're just bringing your arm up. And then slowly unwind. You always come out of stretches slowly, honoring the body. And then we're just going to lean back and switch our feet, whichever one's in front or on top. Switch. Okay. So bringing arms back up, maybe your arms, your shoulders feel a little looser now. Just open, reach, flex your wrist, touch your fingertips together. Just touch. Taking a breath. Exhale out to the side with the flexed hands, and then press through the wrist, stretching and bringing your arms down. Good. And then bringing both arms up once again, reach. And exhale, bring your right hand down onto the floor and come into a side stretch. Reach through your left side. Reaching your right arm out, and shoulders are perpendicular to the floor. Look up under your arm. Breathe through those fingertips. So you're pressing down in your hips, press down in hips, and reach through the fingertips. And now we'll turn forward, come over facing your right leg, stretching down. Now we'll lift up. Bring your left hand onto your right knee and scoop your right arm up and back. So really extend, elongate the spine. Go to the back. So you're coming into a bit of an arch in your back. And now just come to center where fingertips are reaching straight up. Breathe, reach up. And as you exhale, lower your arm down behind you into your twist and breathe some nice long breaths here as you use your arms to hold you into your twist. Now, still holding with your left hand, breathe your right arm up next to your ear, still facing in your twist. And then exhale as you return to center and circle around a few times in your shoulders. After a twist, it just feels really good to loosen in the shoulders. Reverse. Okay, just breathe your shoulders up to your ears and squeeze in. Contract the shoulders and press your head back. Squeeze out, wring out any tension, any toxins, any debris, dross, and then let your shoulders come down, circle around once or twice more each direction. All right, now bring arms around back, interlace fingers, take in your breath, lift up tall, exhale and lift your arms away. Opening shoulders, chest, ribs. You can even bring your hands down to the floor and come into a bit of an arch, lifting the ribs, and then release it all, come back to center and allow your legs to stretch out, unfold. And then just lean back on your hands, separate your feet with your knees bent, and we'll loosen in the hips. Just a simple rolling side to side. All right, so coming back to center, just inch your feet in hip width apart, palms under your shoulders. We'll come into desk pose or reversed table. Press down and feet and hands and lift your hips up. Feel your shoulders, your arms, hips. Now just sway a little bit side to side. Now forward and back. Now come back and see if you can bring your hips off the floor in between your hands. So you're not on the floor. See? Now let yourself down. All right, let's do that one more time. I'll turn sideways so you can see a little bit, although, you know, sometimes we're low enough to the ground, we drag a little bit. But come into your table, set your palms wide enough so your hips will fit through. Come up into table pose. Just rock forward and back a couple times. It's a nice stretch for the arms. Your chin can also be towards your chest if it's a little difficult for you to have your head back. So lift your hips up, come into table pose. Now press down firmly in your palms, come down, try to keep your hips up off the floor and flex your feet. So hips are off the floor, not very far, or maybe it is. The second time was better, right? Okay, now turn your knuckles under and press your wrist forward to give yourself a counter pose to the flexion in your wrist from table. And then circle around, loosen up. Fingers, give a good squeeze, wake them up. And circle around in your ankles. Loosen and lubricate those joints. And then sit tall on the sitting bones. Lift up through your crown. Flex your feet. Breathe. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. All right. Now, let's bring in a thigh stretch before we get up for our standing poses. Just come onto your left hip. Lean over, bring in your right ankle, and draw your leg around behind you into a stretch. You want your heel to your hip if possible, and then pull the leg back wherever your body will allow. And you can come in and out of the stretch to warm it up, loosen. So breathe. Stretch as you exhale. Press your hip forward, your right hip forward, and the knee comes back. Heel to your hip. Now, another way to do this, if you wish, just come sitting on both hips. Top of the foot is on the floor on the right leg, and then you can lower down. And you can go as far as your body allows. Whoops, you can come all the way down onto the floor. Heel in towards your hip, but knee on the floor. And you can bring your arms overhead if you like, if that's comfortable. Relax the quadricep muscles. All right. And then we'll press back up. Just come onto your elbows, inch your way up. And we'll work with the other leg. So slowly allow your right leg out. Now, something you can do after a stretch like that, it's quite a stretch. Just rub your hands together to create some heat in your palms. And then take that heat to your knee and just circle around your knee. The muscles just above your knee. Just give some comfort and warmth. All right, so other side, lean onto your right hip. Bend your left leg. Bring the heel in towards your hip and pull the knee back behind you. Press your hip forward. And you can come in and out. It might need more warming up. In and out of the stretch. And if you want to try the second version, just bring the foot close to your hip. I like to roll my hips under me just to get the fleshy part out of the way and lower down. And relax into the stretch. You're just using the floor as a prop instead of pulling with your arm, although that gives you a little strengthening, toning in your arms and shoulders. Just a different way to do it. Try to relax the leg. All right. And we'll come back up onto our elbows and then palms. Let the leg go forward. And again, rub palms together, nice and warm. And take that heat into your knee and just give it a little rub down. Okay. So let's come around for a puppy stretch. Come onto hands and knees. Walk your knees back and draw your shoulders down. So hips are up, shoulders down.
You can kind of waddle your shoulders one down and then the other. Reach. Press your sternum towards the floor. And then come up onto hands and knees. And stretch out your left leg. Bring the ball of the foot onto the floor. Press your heel away to stretch your calf. Warm it up. You can come onto the ball, come up onto the toes, and press back and forth. And then press the heel away. Come into plank for a moment and just switch legs. So forward and back with the right leg. Press through the heel. Lengthen those calf muscles. Now a little more stretching for the backs of our legs. Just come down onto your forearms. Interlace your fingers. Come onto both feet into elbow plank for a few breaths to build some heat and strengthen the core. It also stretches your calf muscles here as you press your heels away. And we'll walk our feet up into dolphin. So just lift your hips, press down on your arms, and walk your feet in towards your head. Stretch your heels down. So this is good for shoulders. It's good if you want to work towards your headstand, strengthening shoulders and arms. And then just bend your knees, lower them down onto the floor. Separate your hands. Come up and just shake out your arms. All right. So let's open our hips now. Just come up onto the balls of your feet and separate your feet for hip openers and then into malasana. So pressing on the outer edge of your foot, open the knee, side to side. And then come down in between your feet. Press the knees open with your elbows as you bring your thumbs to your heart center, the sternum. And this is an awesome opportunity to allow earth energy to come up into the perineum and up through your feet. Lengthen up through your crown. Lift your chest. Try not to sink forward. Press the knees open and lift. This is great for your lower back, for your hip joints. And then bring your palms down and we'll step into our downward facing dog. I'll turn sideways for this one. Step your feet back. So engage your core muscles, pull up and in to support your body here. Heels down. Hips up. Shoulder blades go down your back. All right, let's work with some lunges here. So just bend your right knee, take it up into three-legged dog. Let's open our psoas muscles as well. So lift the knee, bend your knee and lift it up, then open the hip. Shoulders face forward. Open the hips, lifting your leg up. And then square your hips to the floor and bring your foot through for lunge, sun pose. Now you can let the back leg down if you want, or you can keep the knee lifted. Give it a stretch. And lift your right arm up, reach, press through the back heel, look up into your palm. Now bring your hand down, but bring it inside the foot and slide your right foot over, palm next to the arch of your foot. And hold. Now you can here again, either leave the knee on the floor or you can keep it lifted, but lower down onto your forearms for a stretch. And then press your palms back down on the floor. Come outside the foot, bring the foot back into center, lift into your sun pose. And then press back into down dog. So press your heels down and tilt your hips up. Feel that stretch on the back of your legs. Tummy pulls up and in. Shoulders down. And left leg up to the ceiling. Reach it up. Bend your knee and shoulders remain, but lift the back knee and open the hip. And then square your hips once again and bring your foot forward into sun pose. Lift your chin, looking up towards the sun, honoring this light from the sun, the warmth that we receive, all the chemistry on our bodies. Now press down on your right palm, lift the left arm into your twist. Stretching in all directions through your fingertips on the upper hand, through the heel on the lower leg, the extended leg. And now bring your arm back down, palm inside the arch of your foot, and just move your foot over. And again, back knee down on the floor or up, pressing through the heel. Come down onto your forearms for a stretch. Breathe. So you may wonder how all of this physical work brings us to God realization. So what we're doing is creating a strong vehicle, because God realization has power. Okay, we'll come back up. So we're cleansing the body, releasing toxins. Then at the end of your session, you drink plenty of water to flush it out. Okay, step the back leg in. Come into head to knee pose. Now gently lower the hips, feet are hip width apart. Bend the knees, arms out to the side. Bring the body up, push the floor away. Reach up for a back bend, standing back bend. Engage hips and legs. Lift up out of the hips, elongate the spine, and go to the back. Open the arms, come back to center. Palms in prayer hands. Beautiful. So as we cleanse the body of toxins, as we strengthen and stretch, we prepare the body. This is our temple. And we prepare the body for deeper awareness inside ourselves. And when we meditate, we don't have toxins and weakness pulling us away from that connection with the source. So that's how it works. Okay. So we'll come into a warrior two pose. So you'll either need to turn your mat or turn your body. So step your feet apart. Come into five-pointed star. Heels out, toes in. Give a little wiggle to your hips. As a matter of fact, just place your left hand on that hinge of your hip. Bring the other arm up. We'll come into a side stretch. Bring the elbow forward so that hand and arm will support you. You can even press your palm down if you have enough flexion in your wrist. Reach up tall. Legs are active. Breathe and exhale over to the side. And breathe it up. And we'll switch sides, pressing on the hinge right where that joint is. Breathe. Left arm up, reach. Press on that leg, on that hip bone, and exhale over to the side. Shoulders point forward. And press back up and come out into five-pointed star. Okay. So turning your right toes out this time and the left heel out, toes in. Point the hips forward. Taking a breath. Exhale and bend the knee out. We did our hip opener, so we should be pretty warmed up in our hips. Open the knee, pressing back, and lower into your warrior two. Tummy pulls up, lengthen in the spine, and turn looking over towards the horizon. Relax in the hips, deepen your pose. Now turn your palms up, breathe, come in with the knee, bring your arms up overhead, and switch your feet to the other side. Take in your breath. Exhale, bend the knee and open the arms out into your warrior two. Keep opening the knee over the center line of your foot, opening the hip to the back. Constant opening. So notice how your legs and hips are doing the work here. So your heart is open. You can free the upper body to open in the heart, opening to that love that is God realization. And then draw the knee back in. Relax your arms down. Turn your toes forward. Just pause for a moment. Ah, all right. Now step your feet together. Just coming in. Breathe palms together. And align your posture so you have good posture. So you're lifting up in the front of the body and lowering down in the back of the body. You're not pressing your hips forward, but you are lengthening in the spine. Excuse me. Take in your breath and shift the weight over to your right foot. Bend your left knee and focus on a spot. Reach for the top of your foot. So I'm going to turn sideways here. So you're opening your palm out rather than palm in. Open it out. Reach for the ankle. So we're going to come into a dancer's pose. We're just going to play with this. No pressure. We're just practicing. So bringing that foot up, bring your right arm up, palm forward, and press the foot into your back hand. Press and let that lift your leg up. Focus on a spot. Lift your leg and your arm behind you. Keep pressing the shoulder back on the right. Lift. Keep the shoulder lifted. A lot of people lean forward. We don't need to do that. We want to keep it lifted. That's your fulcrum that you're creating. And then let it come down. Circle around in your shoulders just to release a couple times, forward and back. And then arms forward and back, crisscross. All right, now coming into Tadasana. Once again, breathe, palms in. Taking a breath. Exhale, shift the weight over to your left foot. Reach your right palm out. Draw your foot up, focus on a spot. Press the foot in your hand. Lift the other arm, press your shoulder back. Press the foot into your hand and open in the leg. Okay? You may have one side wobbly compared to the first side.
Just work with it. Keep creating that fulcrum. Shoulder back, foot into the hand, lift. And release. Come down, loosen in your shoulders. Okay. Separate your feet, a standing twist. Back to center. And let's try it again. Find your spot that you're going to focus on. Breathe, palms in. Breathe. Shift the weight to your right foot. Left hand out, bend the knee. Take your time. Come into your Natarajasana. Shoulder back, foot pressing into the hand. Lift. And lower down. Other side. Palms. Breathe. Exhale, shift the weight. Right leg. Arm, press back. Press the foot into your hand. Lift. And release. Shake it all out. A few jiggles, side to side, back to center. Beautiful. Come down onto your mat. Come into butterfly. Soles of your feet together, holding on with both hands, and work your wings, your butterfly wings. Okay, press down in your sitting bones, lift up through your crown, feet pulled in wherever is comfortable, and draw your knees down to the floor. Take in your breath. Exhale, a slight hinge forward in your hips, whatever your body will allow in this moment. Don't squash your fingers. When you're leaning forward, you can use your elbows to press down in your calves or your shins here. And slowly lift back up. Just open the knees. Now bring your right hand around behind you, left hand on your left knee. Press the knee away. You don't have to press it to the floor if it doesn't want to go there, but just a nice press with the heel of your hand or your palm. Press down. Now pull that shoulder forward and come into a little twist. This lengthens from the joint and gives you a nice stretch on your inner thigh. A nice twist in your spine. And we're going to switch to the other side. So right hand on the right knee. Take in a breath, lift up through your crown. Exhale, bring the shoulder forward. Press down on the leg and lean a little forward in a luscious stretch. And then release. Loosen up a little bit more. And notice how your legs feel, your hips. To come out, take your hands underneath your knees
and assist your legs coming back in, just being gentle on the groin. Circle around in your ankles to loosen up in your feet, your ankles, and prepare for your Shavasana. Slide your legs out. Feet are separate about 12 to 18 inches. Roll down, palms face upward. You can bring a little bend in the elbow to let your shoulders relax down, but roll your hips under, roll your shoulder blades down. And as you lower down into relaxation, the quotation by Amma, once again, God realization is nothing but the ability, the expansiveness of heart to love everything equally. To love is the key words there. And Kabir says, you have slept for millions and millions of years. Why not wake up this morning? Wake up to that God realization, that expansiveness of the heart to love everything. Let go now and let that love expand in your heart. Feel it. Feel the endorphins in your body. Let go of holding. Let go of outcome. Let go of attachment. Just let yourself be.
as you lie in deep relaxation, cement your connections that you've made here. Anchor in this depth of peace and divine love. This is your center. And then sail back up into the physical dimension, anchored in your center, your essential nature, and the divine. And just periodically throughout each day, focus at your heart center and remember this anchor. And now just bring some moves, gentle moves into hands and feet, head and shoulders. Slide your feet together and lift your knees to your chest. Coming in for a stretch to awaken you to the physical. And then come over to one side and press up into sitting. You have stretched, you have bent, you have twisted, you have lifted and lowered. You have danced in dancer's pose, balancing, and you have reconnected at a deeper level. You have it all. You are it all. So now all you do is shine your light. So just bring palms into Anjali Mudra to seal in all of that benefit, connection, reconnection. Go forth and shine your light. Namaste, everybody.